You've heard debt is dangerous. And for most people, it is. High-interest consumer debt drains cash flow, limits options, and keeps wealth building slow. But for the wealthy, debt works differently. It's used intentionally to buy assets, preserve control, and accelerate long-term wealth growth instead of destroying it. According to ProPublica, the 25 wealthiest Americans, including Elon Musk and Larry Ellison, paid just 3.4% in true tax rates over 5 years by borrowing against their assets. So, how does this actually work? And why does it favor the wealthy? Here's how the rich use debt to build wealth, lower taxes, and stay in control, while most people end up paying interest and falling behind. But before we go any further, yes, this is an AI voice, but a real person wrote this. I earned my financial freedom and I'm not doing this for money. I don't like narrating videos, so I use an AI voice. Ignore that the voice is AI. The video is worth it. Check out the full details by visiting the link in the description. Consumer debt versus wealth-building debt. Two very different games. The difference starts with intent. U.S. consumer credit card debt reached $1.18 trillion in 2024, mostly driven by purchases that lose value: phones, clothes, and lifestyle upgrades. Meanwhile, the rich borrow to acquire appreciating assets that generate income and grow their net worth over time. Strategic debt use. Why rich people don't fear borrowing. Debt isn't bad, and it's not good either. It's just financial pressure that works in both directions. When used with strategy and purpose, it accelerates gains. When used carelessly, it multiplies your losses and leaves you broke with interest. Good debt versus bad debt. What separates the wealthy? The wealthy don't borrow just to borrow. They borrow with payoff in mind. Good debt funds rental properties, business growth, or income-generating assets. Bad debt funds things that depreciate and deliver nothing back but bills. Smart borrowing. How rich people use leverage for bigger returns. Wealthy individuals understand the math behind borrowing at 4% and earning 10 to 15% elsewhere. That spread becomes profit, and the debt becomes a tool for scaling wealth, not draining it. The average person avoids debt. Rich people assign it a job. Real estate leverage. Why 90% of millionaires invest in properties. Over 90% of U.S. millionaires own real estate, and debt is the reason they can scale it. Banks cover up to 80% of the purchase, renters pay the mortgage, and the investor keeps the appreciation. That's leverage working in your favor without burning through your own cash. Business loans for growth. How entrepreneurs use debt to scale faster. The wealthy use credit lines to grow revenue, not to survive a bad month. Strategic debt helps them hire, expand, and launch faster than savings alone would allow. If the return beats the cost of capital, it's not risky, it's smart business. Using debt smart without millions. How you can do it too. You don't need a yacht or a trust fund to use debt the smart way. A rental unit, side business, or secured credit line can all work in your favor. The key isn't wealth. It's using the same playbook with smaller numbers and bigger discipline. Tax planning with debt. How the rich reduce income without selling assets. Instead of selling stock or property and facing a tax hit, the rich borrow to create cash flow while their assets continue to grow. Debt doesn't count as income, so it buys them flexibility without giving the IRS a cut. It's not avoiding taxes, it's mastering the system. Managing risk. How the rich protect themselves when using debt. Smart leverage means building in buffers, planning exit strategies, and stress testing the numbers. Rich people don't blindly borrow. They prepare for worst-case scenarios before signing anything. Debt is only dangerous when you skip the planning. Smart debt strategy. What separates the rich and everyone else? The rich don't avoid debt, they make it work for them. They borrow with intention, stack the odds, and protect the downside. That's the difference between using money and getting used by it. You don't need millions to think like that, just the right mindset. Thanks for watching, and if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with your friends. Also, don't forget the link in the description.